Shalom, my brothers and sisters in Yahweh, our Elohim, and welcome to our next study, extra-canonical study in the Book of Jasher. And tonight we'll be studying chapter 31, 32, and 33 in the Book of Jasher. So if you got a Dead Sea Scrolls book, go ahead and grab it, and we'll get started tonight. Hope everybody's had a good week. Hope everything's going well for everyone. Alright, gang, y'all got yourselves comfortable and seated and ready to go? I'll give you a second and take a drink off the coffee. Alrighty then, let's get started. The Book of Jasher, chapter 31. In the 7th year, Jacob's service to Laban was completed, and Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for the days of my service are fulfilled." Laban did so, and Laban and Jacob assembled all the people of that place, and they made a feast. In the evening Laban came to the house, and afterward Jacob came there with the people of the feast, and Laban extinguished all the lights that were there in the house. Jacob said to Laban, "Why do you do this thing to us?" And Laban answered, "Such is our custom to act in this land." Afterward, Laban took his daughter Leah, and he brought her to Jacob, and he came to her, and Jacob did not know that she was Leah. And Laban gave his daughter Leah his maid, Zilpah, for a handmaid. All the people at the feast knew what Laban had done to Jacob, but they didn't tell a thing to Jacob. All the neighbors came that night to Jacob's house, and they ate and drank and rejoiced and played before Leah on timbrels and with dances, and they responded before Jacob, "Hallelujah, Hallelujah." Jacob heard their words, but did not understand their meaning, but he thought such might be their custom in this land. And the neighbors spoke these words before Jacob during the night, and all the lights that were in the house Laban had that night been extinguished. In the morning, when daylight appeared, Jacob turned to his wife and saw it was Leah that had been lying in his bosom. And Jacob said, "So now I know what the neighbors said last night. Hallelujah, they said, and I knew it not." Jacob called to Laban and said to him, "What is this that you did to me? Certainly I served you for Rachel. Why did you deceive me and give me Leah?" Laban answered Jacob, saying, Not so is done in our place to give the younger before the elder. Therefore, if you desire to take her sister likewise, take her to you for the service which you will serve me for another 7 years. Jacob did so. He also took Rachel for a wife. He served Laban 7 years more, and Jacob also came into Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah. Laban gave her his maid Bilhah for a handmaid. When the Elohim saw that Leah was hated, the Elohim opened her womb, and she conceived and gave birth to Jacob 4 sons in those days. And these are their names: Reuben, Simon, Levi, and Judah. And afterwards she ceased bearing. At that time Rachel was unable to conceive, and had no children, and Rachel envied her sister Leah. When Rachel saw that she gave birth to no children to Jacob, she took her handmaid Bilhah, and she gave birth to Jacob 2 sons, Dan and Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had ceased bearing, she also took her handmaid Zilpah, and she gave her to Jacob for a wife. Jacob also came to Zilpah, and she gave birth to Jacob 2 sons, Gad and Asher. Leah again conceived and gave birth to Jacob in those days 2 sons and 1 daughter. These are their names: Issachar, Zebulun, and their sister Dinah. Rachel was still unable to conceive in those days, and Rachel prayed to the Elohim at that time, and she said, "O Yahweh, Elohim, Remember me and visit me, I beg you, for now my husband will cast me off, for I have borne him no children. O Elohim, Yahweh, hear my supplication before you, and see my affliction, and give me children like one of the handmaids, that I may no more bear my reproach. Yahweh heard her, and opened her womb, and Rachel conceived and gave birth to a son. And she said, The Elohim has taken away my reproach. She called his name Joseph, saying, May the Elohim add to me another son. Jacob was 91 years old when she gave birth to him. At that time Jacob's mother Rachel sent her nurse Deborah, the daughter of Uz, and 2 of Isaac's servants to Jacob. They came to Jacob to Haran, and said to him, Rebekah has sent us to you that you shall return to your father's house in the land of Canaan. Jacob listened to them of this which his mother had spoken. At that time the other 7 years which Jacob served Laban for Rachel were completed, and it was at the end of 14 years that he had lived in Haran. Jacob said to Laban, Give me my wives and send me away, that I may go to my land. For behold, my mother did send to me from the land of Canaan, that I should return to my father's house. And Laban said to him, Not so, I pray you. If I have found favor in your sight, do not leave me. Tell me your wages, and I will give them, and remain with me. Jacob said to him, This is what you shall give me for wages, that I shall this day pass through all your flock, and take away from them every lamb that is speckled and spotted, and such as are brown among the sheep, among the goats. And if you will do this thing for me, I will return and feed your flock, and keep them as at first. Laban did so, and Laban removed from his flock all that Jacob had said, and gave them to him. And Jacob placed all that he had removed from Laban's flock in the hands of his sons. And Jacob was feeding the remainder of Laban's flock. When the servants of Isaac, which he had sent to Jacob, saw that Jacob would not return with them to the land of Canaan to his father, they went away from him, and returned home to the land of Canaan. And Deborah remained with Jacob in Haran. She did not return with the servants of Isaac to the land of Canaan, and Deborah resided with Jacob's wives and children in Haran. Jacob served Laban 6 years longer, and when the sheep brought forth, Jacob removed from them such as were speckled and spotted, as he had determined with Laban. Jacob did so at Laban's for 6 years, and the man increased abundantly. He had cattle, and maidservants, and menservants, camels, and asses. Jacob had 200 drove of cattle, and his cattle were of large size, and of beautiful appearance, and were very productive. All the families of the sons of men desired to get some of the cattle of Jacob, for they were greatly prosperous. Many of the sons of men came to procure some of Jacob's flock, and Jacob gave them a sheep for a manservant or a maidservant, or for an ass or a camel, or whatever Jacob desired from them, they gave him. Jacob obtained riches and honor and possessions by means of those transactions with the sons of men, and the children of Laban envied him of this honor. In the course of time, he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's has he acquired all this glory. And Jacob observed the countenance of Laban and his children, and it was not toward him in those days as it had been before. The Elohim appeared to Jacob at the expiration of 6 years, and said to him, Arise, go forth out of this land, and return to the land of your birthplace, and I will be with you. And Jacob rose up at that time, and he mounted his children and wives, and all belonging to him on camels, and he went forth to go to the land of Canaan, to his father Isaac. Laban did not know that Jacob had gone from him, for Laban had been sheep shearing that day. Rachel stole her father's images, and she took them and concealed them on the camel on which she sat, and she went on. And this is the manner of the images. In taking a man who is the firstborn, and slaying him, and taking the hair off his head, taking salt, and salting the head, and anointing it in oil, then taking a small tablet of copper, or a tablet of gold, and writing the name on it, and placing the tablet under his tongue, taking the head with the tablet under the tongue, and putting it in the house, and lighting up lights before it, and bowing down to it. Oh boy. Verse 42, and at the time when they bow down to it, it speaks to them in all matters that they ask of it, through the power of the name which is written on it. And some make them in the figures of men, of gold and silver, and go to them in times known to them, and the figures receive the influence of the stars, and tell them future things. In this manner were the images which Rachel stole from her father. Rachel stole these images which were her father's, in order that Laban might not know through them where Jacob had gone. So that explains that, doesn't it? Verse 45, Laban came home, and he asked concerning Jacob and his household, and he was not to be found. Laban sought his images to know where Jacob had gone, and could not find them. He went to some other images, and he inquired of them, and they told him that Jacob had fled from him to his fathers, to the land of Canaan. Laban then rose up and took his brothers and all his servants, and he went forth to pursue Jacob, and he overtook him in Mount Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What is this you have done to me to flee and deceive me, and lead my daughters and their children as captives taken by the sword? You did not suffer me to kiss them and send them away with joy, and you did steal my gods, small g, and did go away. And Jacob answered Laban, saying, Because I was afraid that you would take your daughters by force from me, and now with whomsoever you find your small g gods, he shall die. And Laban searched for the images, and he examined in all Jacob's tents and furniture, but could not find them. And Laban said to Jacob, We will make a covenant together, and it shall be a testimony between me and you, if you shall afflict my daughters, or shall take other wives beside my daughters. Even Yahweh shall be a witness between me and you in this matter. And they took stones and made a heap, and Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and you. And he called the name thereof Gilead. Jacob and Laban offered sacrifice on the mount, and they ate there by the heap, and they stayed in the mount all night. Laban rose up early in the morning. He wept with his daughters, and he kissed them, and he returned to his place. He hurried and sent off his son Beor, who was 17 years old, with Abchoroph, the son of Uz, the son of Nahor, and with them were 10 men. They hurried and went and passed on the road before Jacob, and they came by another road to the land of Seir. They came to Esau, and said to him, Thus says your brother and relative, your mother's brother Laban, the son of Bethuel, saying, Have you heard what Jacob your brother has done to me, who first came to me naked, and gave birth to? I went to meet him, and brought him to my house with honor. I made him great, and I gave him my 2 daughters for wives, and also 2 of my maids. And Yahweh blessed him on my account. He increased abundantly, and had sons, daughters, and maidservants. He is also an immense stock of flocks and herds, camels and asses, also silver and gold in abundance. When he saw that his wealth increased, he left me while I went to shear my sheep, and he rose up and fled in secrecy. He lifted his wives and children on camels, And he led away all his cattle and property which he had acquired in my land. And he lifted up his countenance to go to his father Isaac to the land of Canaan. He did not let me kiss my daughters and their children. He led my daughters as captives taken by the sword. And he also stole my small g gods, and he fled. And now I have left him in the mountain of the brook of Jabbok, him and all belonging to him. He lacks nothing. If it be your wish to go to him, then go then, and there you will find him, and you can do to him as your soul desires. And Laban's messengers came and told Esau all these things. Man, he's full of hot air. Verse 64. Esau heard all the words of Laban's messengers, and his anger was greatly set ablaze against Jacob, and he remembered his hatred, and his anger burned within him. Esau hurried, and took his children and servants, and the souls of his household, being 60 men. He went and assembled all the children of Seir the Horite, and their people, being 340 men. He took all this number of 400 men with drawn sword, and he went to Jacob to strike him. Esau divided this number into several parts, and he took the 60 men of his children and servants, and the souls of his household as one head, and gave them in care of Eliphaz, his eldest son. The remaining heads he gave to the care of the 6 sons of Seir the Horite, and he placed every man over his generations and children. The whole of this camp went as it was, and Esau went among them toward Jacob, and he conducted them with speed. And Laban's messengers departed from Esau, and went to the land of Canaan, and they came to the house of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. They told her, saying, Behold, your son Esau has gone against his brother Jacob with 400 men, for he heard that he was coming, and he is gone to make war with him, and to strike him, and to take all he has. Rebekah hurried, and sent 72 men from the servants of Isaac to meet Jacob on the road, for she said, Perhaps Esau may make war in the road when he meets him. These messengers went on the road to meet Jacob, and they met him on the road of the brook, on the opposite side of the brook Jabbok. Jacob said when he saw them, This camp is destined to me from Yahweh. And Jacob called the name of that place Machnaim. And Jacob knew all his father's people, and he kissed them and embraced them and came with them. Jacob asked them concerning his father and mother, and they said, They are well. These messengers said to Jacob, Rebekah your mother has sent us to you, saying, I have heard, my son, that your brother Esau has gone forth against you on the road with men from the children of Seir the Horite. Therefore, my son, listen to my voice and see with your counsel what you will do. When he comes up to you, supplicate him, and do not speak rashly to him, and give him a present from what you possess, and from what Yahweh has favored you with. And when he asks you concerning your affairs, conceal nothing from him. Perhaps he may turn from his anger against you, and you will thereby save your soul, you and all belonging to you. For it is your duty to honor him, for he is your elder brother. When Jacob heard the words of his mother, which the messengers had spoken to him, Jacob lifted up his voice and wept bitterly, and did as his mother then commanded him. Chapter 32. At that time Jacob sent messengers to his brother Esau toward the land of Seir, and he spoke to them words of supplication. He commanded them, saying, Thus shall you say to my lord, to Esau, Thus say your servant Jacob, Let not my lord imagine that my father's blessings with which he did bless me has proved beneficial to me. For I have been these 20 years with Laban, and he deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, as it has all been already told to my lord. And I served him in his house very laboriously, And Yahweh afterward saw my affliction, my labor, and the work of my hands, and he caused me to find grace and favor in his sight. Afterward, through Yahweh's great mercy and kindness, I acquired oxen and asses and cattle and men servants and maidservants. And now I am coming to my land, and my home to my father and mother, who are in the land of Canaan. I have sent to let my Lord know all this in order to find favor in the sight of my Lord, so that he may not imagine that I have of myself obtained wealth, or that the blessing with which my father blessed me has benefited me. Those messengers went to Esau and found him on the border of the land of Edom, going toward Jacob, and 400 men of the children of Seir the Horite were standing with drawn swords. And the messengers of Jacob told Esau all the words that Jacob had spoken to them concerning Esau. Esau answered them with pride and contempt, and said to them, Certainly I have heard, and truly it has been told to me what Jacob has done to Laban, who exalted him in his house, and gave him his daughters for wives. And he had sons and daughters, and abundantly increased in wealth and riches in Laban's house through his means. When he saw that his wealth was abundant and his riches great, he fled with all belonging to him from Laban's house, and he led Laban's daughters away from the face of their father as captives taken by the sword without telling him of it. And not only to Laban has Jacob done this, but also to me has he done so, and has twice supplanted me. And shall I be silent? Now therefore I have this day come with my camps to meet him, and I will do to him according to the desire of my heart. And the messengers returned, and came to Jacob, and said to him, We came to your brother, to Esau, and we told him all your words, and thus has he answered us. Behold, he comes to meet you with 400 men. Now there know and see what you shall do, and pray before Yahweh to deliver you from him. And when he heard the words of his brothers, which he had spoken to the messengers of Jacob, Jacob was greatly afraid, and he was distressed. And Jacob prayed to the Elohim, to Yahweh. And he said, O Yahweh, Elohim of my fathers Abraham and my Isaac, you did say to me when I went away from my father's house, saying, I am the Elohim of your father Abraham, and the Elohim of Isaac. To you do I give this land and your descendants after you, and I will make your descendants as the stars of heaven, and you shall spread forth to the four sides of heaven, and in you and in your offspring shall all the families of the earth be blessed. You did establish your words, and did give to me riches and children and cattle, as the utmost wishes of my heart did you give to your servant. You gave to me all that I asked from you, so that I lacked nothing. Afterward you said to me, Return to your parents and to your birthplace, and I will still do well with you. And now that I have come, and you did deliver me from Laban, I shall fall in the hands of Esau, who will kill me, yea, together with the mothers of my children. Now therefore, Yahweh, O Elohim, deliver me, I pray you, also from the hands of my brother Esau, for I am greatly afraid of him. And if there is no righteousness in me, do it for the sake of Abraham and my father Isaac. Oh, my nose is itching. Verse 23, For I know that through kindness and mercy I have acquired this wealth. Now therefore I beseech you to deliver me this day with your kindness, and to answer me. And Jacob ceased praying to the Elohim. He divided the people that were with him, with the flocks and the cattle, into 2 camps, and he gave the half to the care of Damasek, the son of Eliezer, Abraham's servant, for a camp with his children. The other half he gave to the care of his brother Elinus, the son of Eliezer, to be for a camp with his children. And he commanded them, saying, Keep yourselves at a distance with your camps, and do not come too near each other. And if Esau comes to one camp and kills it, and the other camp at a distance from it will escape him." Jacob tarried there that night, and during the whole night he gave his servants instructions concerning the forces and his children. The Elohim heard the prayers of Jacob on that day, and the Elohim then delivered Jacob from the hands of his brother Esau. The Elohim sent 3 angels of the angels of heaven, and they went before Esau and came to him. And these angels appeared to Esau and his people as 2,000 men riding on horses furnished with all sorts of war instruments. And they appeared in the sight of Esau and all his men to be divided into 4 camps, with 4 chiefs to them. And one camp went on, and they found Esau coming with 400 men towards his brother Jacob. And this camp ran toward Esau and his people, and terrified them. Esau fell off the horse in alarm, and all his men separated from him in that place, for they were greatly afraid. And the whole camp shouted after them when they fled from Esau, and all the warlike men answered, saying, "Certainly we are the servants of Jacob, who is the servant of Yahweh, and who then can stand against us?" And Esau said to them, "Oh then, my lord and brother Jacob is your lord, whom I have not seen for these 20 years. Now that I have this day come to see him, do you treat me in this manner?" And the angels answered him, saying, "As the Elohim lives, were not Jacob, of whom you speak, your brother, we would not let one remain from you and your people, but only on account of Jacob we will do nothing to them." And this camp passed from Esau and his men, and it went away. And Esau and his men had gone from them about a league, when the second camp came towards him with all sorts of weapons. And they also did to Esau and his men as the first camp had done to them. And when they had left to go on, behold, the third camp came toward him, and they were all terrified. And Esau fell off his horse, and the whole camp cried out and said, "Certainly we are the servants of Jacob, who is the servant of Yahweh, and who can stand against us?" Esau again answered them, saying, "Oh then, Jacob my lord and your lord is my brother, and for 20 years I have not seen his countenance, and hearing this day that he was coming, I went this day to meet him, and do you treat me in this manner?" They answered him and said to him, "As the Elohim lives, were not Jacob your brother, as you did say, we would not leave a remnant from you and your men, but on account of Jacob, of whom you speak, being your brother, we would not meddle with you or your men." And the third camp also passed from them, and he still continued his road with his men toward Jacob, when the fourth camp came toward him. They also did to him and his men as the others had done. When Esau beheld the evil which the 4 angels had done to him and to his men, he became greatly afraid of his brother Jacob, and he went to meet him in peace. And Esau concealed his hatred against Jacob, because he was afraid for his life on account of his brother Jacob, and because he imagined that the 4 camps that he had lighted on were Jacob's servants. And Jacob tarried that night with his servants in their camp, and he resolved with his servants to give to Esau a present from all that he had with him, and from all his property. Jacob rose up in the morning, he and his men, and they chose from among the cattle a present for Esau. And this is the amount of the present which Jacob chose from his flock to give to his brother Esau. He selected 240 heads from the flock, and he selected from the camels and asses 30 each, and of the herds he chose 50 kine. He put them all in 10 droves, and he placed each sort by itself. he delivered them into the hands of 10 of his servants, each drove by itself. He commanded them, and said to them, Keep yourselves at a distance from each other, and put a space between the droves. And when Esau and those who are with him shall meet you, and ask you, saying, Whose are you, and where do you go? And to whom belongs all this before you? You shall say to them, We are the servants of Jacob, and we come to meet Esau in peace. And behold, Jacob comes behind us. And that which is before us is a present sent from Jacob to his brother Esau. And if they shall say to you, Why does he delay behind you from coming to meet his brother and to see his face? Then you shall say to them, Certainly he comes joyfully behind us to meet his brother. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes to him, and after this I will see his face. Perchance he will accept me. So the whole present passed on in the hands of his servants, and went before him on that day. And he lodged that night with his camps by the border of the brook of Jabbok. He rose up in the middle of the night, and took his wives and his maidservants, and all belonging to him. And that night he passed them over the ford Jabbok. When he passed, all belonging to him over the brook, Jacob was left by himself. A man met him, and he wrestled with him that night until the breaking of the day. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint through wrestling with him. He was wrestling with a man, huh? I wonder if that was Yeshua. At the break of day the man left Jacob there, and he blessed him and went away. Jacob passed the brook at the break of day, and he rested on his thigh. And the sun rose on him when he passed the brook, and he came up to the place of his cattle and children. They went on till midday, and while they were going, the present was passing on before them. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was at a distance, coming along with many men, about 400, and Jacob was greatly afraid of his brother. Jacob hurried and divided his children to his wives and his handmaids, and his daughter Dinah he put in a chest, and delivered her into the hand of his servants. He passed before his children and wives to meet his brother, and he bowed down to the ground. Yes, he bowed down 7 times until he approached his brother. And Yahweh caused Jacob to find grace and favor in the sight of Esau and his men, for Yahweh had heard the prayer of Jacob. The fear of Jacob and his terror fell on his brother Esau, for Esau was greatly afraid of Jacob for what the angels of Yahweh had done to Esau, and Esau's anger against Jacob was turned into kindness. And when Esau saw Jacob running toward him, he also ran toward him, and he embraced him, and he fell on his neck, and they kissed and they wept. And Yahweh put fear and kindness toward Jacob in the hearts of the men that came with Esau, and they also kissed Jacob and embraced him. Also Eliphaz the son of Esau, with his 4 brothers, sons of Esau, wept with Jacob, and they kissed him and embraced him, for the fear of Jacob had fallen on them all. And Esau lifted up his eyes and saw the women with their children, the children of Jacob, walking behind Jacob and bowing along the road to Esau. And Esau said to Jacob, Who are these with you, my brother? And they, your children? Are they your children or your servants? And Jacob answered Esau and said, These are my children, which Yahweh hath graciously given to your servant. While Jacob was speaking to Esau and his men, Esau beheld the whole camp, and he said to Jacob, How did you get the whole camp that I met last night? And Jacob said, To find favor in the sight of my Lord, it is that which Yahweh graciously gave to your servant. The present came before Esau, and Jacob pressed Esau, saying, Take, I pray you, the present that I have brought to my Lord. And Esau said, Why should I? Keep that which you have to yourself. And Jacob said, It is incumbent on me to give all of this, since I have seen your face, that you still live in peace." Esau refused to take the present, and Jacob said to him, "I beseech you, my lord, if now I have found favor in your sight, then receive my present at my hand, for I have therefore seen your face, as you I had seen a godlike face, because you were pleased with me." And Esau took the present, and Jacob also gave to Esau silver and gold and bdellium, for he pressed him so much that he took them. Esau divided the cattle that were in the camp, and he gave half to the men who had come with him, for they had come on hire. Another half he delivered to the hands of his children. The silver, gold, and bdellium he gave to the hands of Eliphaz his eldest son. And Esau said to Jacob, "Let us remain with you, and we will go slowly along with you until you come to my place with me, that we may dwell there together." And Jacob answered his brother and said, "I would do as my Lord speaks to me, but my Lord knows that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with their young, who are with me, go but slowly. For if they went swiftly, they would all die, for you know their burdens and their fatigue. Therefore let my Lord pass on before his servant, and I will go on slowly for the sake of the children and the flock until I come to my Lord's place, to Seir." And Esau said to Jacob, "I will place with you some of the people that are with me, to take care of you on the road, and to bear your fatigue and burden." And he said, "I will do so, my Lord, if I may find grace in your sight. Behold, I will come to you in Seir, to dwell there together, as you have spoken. Go then with your people, for I will follow you." Jacob said this to Esau in order to remove Esau and his men from him, so that Jacob might afterward go to his father's house to the land of Canaan. Esau listened to the voice of Jacob, and Esau returned with the 400 men that were with him on their road to Seir. And Jacob and all belonging to him went that day as far as the extremity of the land of Canaan in its borders, and he remained there some time. Chapter 33. Sometime after Jacob went away from the borders of the land, he came to the land of Salem, that is, the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, and he rested in front of the city. And he bought a parcel of the field which was there from the children of Hamor, the people of the land, for 5 shekels. Jacob therefore built himself a house and pitched his tent there, and he made booths for his cattle. Therefore he called the name of that place Succoth. And Jacob remained in Succoth 1 year and 6 months. At that time some of the women of the inhabitants of the land went to the city of Shechem to dance and rejoice with the daughters of the people of that city. And when they went forth, then Rachel and Leah, the wives of Jacob, with their families, also went to behold the rejoicing of the daughters of the city. And Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, also went along with them, and saw the daughters of the city. And they remained there before these daughters, while all the people of the city were standing by them to behold their rejoicing. And all the great people of the city were there. Shechem, the son of Hamor, the prince of the land, was also standing there to see them. Shechem saw Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, sitting with her mother before the daughters of the city, and the damsel pleased him greatly. And he asked his friends and his people, saying, "Whose daughter is that sitting among the women whom I do not know in the city?" And they said to him, "Certainly, this is the daughter of Jacob, the son of Isaac, the Hebrew, who has lived in this city for some time." When it was reported that the daughters of the land were going forth to rejoice, she went with her mother and maidservants to sit among them, as you see. Shechem saw Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and when he looked at her, his soul became fixed on Dinah. And he sent and had her taken by force. And Dinah came to the house of Shechem. He seized her forcibly, and laid with her, and humbled her. And he loved her greatly, and placed her in his house. He raped her, scumbag. And they came and told the things to Jacob. And when Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Dinah, Jacob sent 12 of his servants to fetch Dinah from the house of Shechem. And they went and came to the house of Shechem to take away Dinah from there. When they came, Shechem went out to them with his men and drove them from his house. And he would not let them come before Dinah. But Shechem was sitting with Dinah, kissing and embracing her before their eyes. The servants of Jacob came back and told him, saying, When we came, he and his men drove us away, and thus did Shechem do to Dinah before our eyes. Jacob knew, moreover, that Shechem had defiled his daughter, but he said nothing. His sons were feeding his cattle in the field, and Jacob remained silent till their return. Before his sons came home, Jacob sent 2 maidens from his servants' daughters to take care of Dinah in the house of Shechem, and to remain with her. And Shechem sent 3 of his friends to his father Hamor, the son of Shiddekem, the son of Pered, saying, Get me this damsel for a wife. Hamor, the son of Shechem, the Hivite, came to the house of Shechem his son, and he sat before him. And Hamor said to his son Shechem, Is there not a woman among the daughters of your people, that you will take a Hebrew woman who is not of your people? And Shechem said to him, Her only must you get for me, for she is delightful in my sight. Hamor did according to the word of his son, for he was greatly beloved by him. And Hamor went forth to Jacob to commune with him concerning this matter. And when he had gone from the house of his son Shechem, before he came to Jacob to speak to him, the sons of Jacob had come from the field as soon as they heard the thing that Shechem the son of Hamor had done. And the men were very much grieved concerning their sister, and they all came home fired with anger before the time of gathering in their cattle. And they came and sat before their father, and they spoke to him, set ablaze with wrath, saying, Certainly death is due to this man and to his household, because the Elohim Yahweh of the whole earth commanded Noah and his children, that man shall never rob, nor commit adultery. Now behold, Shechem has both ravaged and committed fornication with our sister, and not one of all the people of the city spoke a word to him. Certainly you know and understand that the judgment of death is due to Shechem and to his father, and to the whole city on account of the thing which he has done. And while they were speaking before their father in this matter, Hamor, the father of Shechem, came to speak with Jacob the words of his son concerning Dinah, and he sat before Jacob and before his sons. And Hamor spoke to them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. I pray you give her to him for a wife, and intermarry with us. Give us your daughters, and we will give you our daughters, and you shall dwell with us in our land, and we will be as one people in the land. For our land is very extensive, so dwell and trade therein, and get possessions in it, and do therein as you desire, and no one shall prevent you by saying a word to you. And Hamor ceased speaking to Jacob and his sons, and behold, Shechem his son had come after him, and he sat before them. And Shechem spoke before Jacob and his sons, saying, May I find favor in your sight, that you will give me your daughter, and whatever you say to me, that will I do for her. Ask me for abundance of dowry and gift, and I will give it, and whatever you say to me, that will I do. And whoever he be that will rebel against your orders, he shall die. Only give me the damsel for a wife. And Simon and Levi answered Hamor and Shechem his son deceitfully, saying, All you have spoken to us we will do for you. And behold, our sister is in your house, But keep away from her until we send to our father Isaac concerning this matter, for we can do nothing without his consent. For he knows the way of our father Abraham, and whatever he says to us, we will tell you. We will conceal nothing from you." And Simon and Levi spoke this to Shechem and to his father in order to find a pretext, and to seek counsel what was to be done to Shechem and to his city in this matter. And when Shechem and his father heard the words of Simon and Levi, it seemed good in their sight, and Shechem and his father rose to go home. And when they had gone, the sons of Jacob said to their father, "Behold, we know that death is due to these wicked ones, and to their city, because they went contrary to that which Yahweh has commanded to Noah and his children and his descendants after them. And also because Shechem did this thing to our sister Dinah in defiling her, for such vileness shall never be done among us. Now therefore know, and see what you will do, and seek counsel and pretext what is to be done to them, in order to kill all the inhabitants of this city." Simon said to them, "Here is a proper advice for you. Tell them to circumcise every male among them as we are circumcised, and if they do not wish to do this, we shall take our daughter from them and go away. And if they consent to do this, and will do it, then when they are sunk down with pain, we will attack them with our swords, as on one who is quiet and peaceable, and we will kill every male person among them." Simon's advice pleased them, and Simon and Levi resolved to do to them as it was proposed. And on the next morning Shechem and Hamor his father came again to Jacob and his sons to speak concerning Dinah, and to hear what answer the sons of Jacob would give to their words. And the sons of Jacob spoke deceitfully to them, saying, "We told our father Isaac all your words, and your words pleased him. But he spoke to us, saying, Thus did Abraham his father command him from Yahweh, the Elohim of the whole earth, that any man who is not of his descendants that should wish to take one of his daughters shall cause every male belonging to him to be circumcised, as we are circumcised, and then we may give him our daughter for a wife. Now we have made known to you all our ways that our father spoke to us, for we cannot do this of which you spoke to us, to give our daughter to an uncircumcised man, for it is a disgrace to us. But herein we will consent to you, to give you our daughter. We will also take to ourselves your daughters, and will dwell among you, and be one people, as you have spoken, if you will listen to us and consent to be like us, to circumcise every male belonging to you, as we are circumcised. And if you will not listen to us, to have every male circumcised as we are circumcised, as we have commanded, then we will come to you, and take our daughter from you, and go away." Shechem and his father Hamor heard the words of the sons of Jacob, and the things pleased them greatly. And Shechem and his father Hamor hurried to do the wishes of the son of Jacob, for Shechem was very fond of Dinah, and his soul was riveted to her. Shechem and his father Hamor hurried to the gate of the city, and they assembled all the men of their city, and spoke to them the words of the sons of Jacob, saying, "We came to these men, the sons of Jacob, and we spoke to them concerning their daughter, and these men will consent to do according to our wishes, and behold, our land is great extent for them, and they will dwell in it, and will trade in it, and we shall be one people. We will take their daughters, and our daughters will be given to them for wives. But only on this condition will these men consent to do this thing, that every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, as their Elohim commanded them. And when we shall have done according to their instructions to be circumcised, then they will dwell among us together with their cattle and possessions, and we shall be as one people with them." When all the men of the city heard the words of Shechem and his father Hamor, then all the men of the city were agreeable to this proposal, and they obeyed to be circumcised, for Shechem and his father Hamor were greatly esteemed by them, being the prince of the land. On the next day, Shechem and Hamor, his father, rose up early in the morning, and they assembled all the men of their city in the middle of the city. And they called for the sons of Jacob, who circumcised every male belonging to them on that day and the next. And they circumcised Shechem and Hamor his father, and the 5 brothers of Shechem. And then everyone rose up and went home, for this thing was from the Elohim against the city of Shechem, and from the Elohim was Simon's counsel in this matter, in order that the Elohim might deliver the city of Shechem into the hands of Jacob's 2 sons. And that's the end of chapter 33. That was quite a read, gang. That was pretty long, but there was a lot there, huh? A lot of action going on there. Escaping from Laban, running into Esau, trying to appease Esau. Yahweh scared Esau with the angels and the armies that he sent. Yeah, so Esau was cool with everything, and then they ended up in Shechem. Ugh, what a mess that is, huh? Where Dinah got raped, and yeah, well, they circumcised everybody in town. So in our next extra-canonical study, we'll find out what happens next. Good study, huh? Pretty crazy stuff going on there. Hey, think about it, you guys. Think about it. Laban. They put up an altar between Laban and Jacob on the border. Okay? What is Laban? Lebanon. Laban. Okay? They can't cross that. Yeah, we already read over all that in the Bible study, but I figured I'd bring it up again because I think it's really wild that they established the border of Lebanon. Crazy stuff, gang. Well, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's study, and thanks for joining me and continuing to join me in this study. This is a really cool study. I like this book. This is fun. And getting a lot of use out of our crayons, ain't we? Yes, we are. So get them sharpened up, gang, and get them ready for the next study in the Book of Jasher, which will be on Monday. Okay? All right, gang. Well, we will see you on Shabbat for our next Bible study. So, until then, Shalom.